In this video, you will learn how to create a 3-panel infographics in CorelDRAW.
Hi creators, Sir Orlando here. I welcome you once again to the Creators World channel, where we learn to earn with graphic design and online business. One of the most sought after skills in this age is the ability to create infographics. Businesses, corporate institutions, and individuals pay good money for the services of graphic designers who can develop infographics. You can also set up gigs on Fiverr to offer your service to people and make some good money. Today, I'm going to show you how you can create a 3-panel infographics to advertise your clients' social media handles in one space. Are you ready to learn? Let's go.
We start by drawing a circle of 40 millimeters in size and apply a contour effect. You can find the contour docker under the Effects tab. Apply an outside contour of 2 steps and an offset of 4 millimeters. Break it apart and ungroup. Set the outline to 1.5 point. Now select the outermost circle and give it an outline of blue, the next red, and leave the middle one black. Draw a line and press P to center on the page. Rotate it at an angle of 60 degrees. You can find the transform tab also at Windows under Dockers. Whilst you rotate, set copies to 2 as you see on the screen. Now, with the help of the line segment delete tool, delete the areas of the red shape as you see on the screen. And then using the Smart Fill tool, let's fill out the areas as you see on the screen. Now let's delete these lines and fill out the other areas just as you see on the screen. Now let's delete unwanted parts, but copy the red circle into the virtual memory, for we'll use it again very soon. Now let's draw a rectangle of 13 by 15 millimeters in dimension, with 13 being the width and 15 being the height. Holding down Shift, select the innermost circle and press C to center align it. Press Ctrl V to paste the red circle we copied and position the rectangle as you see on the screen. Select the rectangle and the red circle and go for back minus front to cut out the circle from the rectangle. Ctrl V to paste the red rectangle again, and using the virtual segment tool, let's delete the lines as you see on the screen. With the shape tool, let's delete the unwanted parts of the red. We only want this kind of line with the red. Now let's add more anchor points to our red line. And then let's delete the 2 extreme ends from the right to the left so that it looks like what you have on the screen. Set the size to 1.5 if you haven't done that. Now let's select our first shape and give it a gradient of blue. That is a light blue and a dark blue. Then the next shape, we give it a dark to a light yellow shade. Then our third shape, we give it a red to orange gradient. Beautiful. We are gradually building our design. So with our fourth object, we will give it a light gray to white gradient, just as you see on the screen. Now let's change our red outline to a dark gray color. You can do this by right-clicking on a dark gray color on your colors palette. Now let's copy it into the PC's memory or into the clipboard and power clip it into our shape. Let's edit it and give it a blur effect. So we go to Effect, Blur, and add a Gaussian blur. You can try out different amounts of pixels to see which one meets your preference. But for the sake of this lesson, I will choose a 2.5 pixel blur and hit OK. Now press the down arrow key twice to shift it a bit to the bottom, and I think I like this. Now let's paste our outline again and set the outline to 0.3, I think 0.5, sorry. And let's add another Gaussian blur. We are repeating the process, but this time we give it a Gaussian blur of 1.5 pixels. And let's take away the outline of our light gradient shape. But let's take away the outline of all the shapes with the exclusion of the inner circle. Select the outline we gave a blend effect and the object with the light gray gradient and group. Select the top object and give it a dark gray color. Then select the innermost circle and take away the outline or set outline to none, and copy the fill properties of our light gray gradient. Now select the grouped object and set the angle of rotation to the center of the innermost circle. Now make a copy of the grouped object and change the angle of rotation to 60 degrees. Make another copy and set that angle to minus 60 degrees to give us a result like what we are seeing on our screens. Now draw a rectangle of 35 by 70 millimeters in dimension, and using the shape tool, drag the corners to curve all four corners to give us a shape like that. Let's copy the fill of the blue gradient, and using the interactive fill tool, let's adjust the angle of our fill. Take away the outline. Select the innermost circle and give it a bevel effect. You can find bevel under the effects tab and give it a bevel effect of about 0.3 millimeters. Make sure emboss is set. Make a copy of the circle and change the size to 30 millimeters and position it on our rectangle with the rounded corners, just as you see on the screen. Adjust to get a perfect positioning. Now select the circle and the rectangle and group. Make a copy of this and holding down Shift, select the innermost circle, press C to center align it with the circle. Now move the first rectangle and circle group upward a bit to a position where it hits our earlier design as you see on the screen. Make a copy of it and position it at the right, just as you see on the screen. Now holding down Ctrl, click on the rectangle at the right to select only the rectangle and change the gradient color to red and orange. The same way, hold down Ctrl and select the blue rectangle at the middle and change the gradient to yellow and light yellow. Holding down Ctrl helps you to select individual objects in a group, so you don't have to ungroup before editing. Let's select all the objects and ungroup all. So select the circle like you see on your screen and apply a drop shadow effect to it. Now we need to duplicate this drop shadow to our other elements. So holding that Alt helps you to select an object behind another object. So hold that Alt to select the shape where it finds itself behind it. And you go to Object, Copy Effect, and choose Drop Shadow to apply the same drop shadow to all the other elements. But don't forget, you can always readjust in case it doesn't fit your preferred results. You can also change the settings in terms of the opacity and the feathering radius to meet your intended results. Great. Our panels are ready. We need to give it a background. And all we need now is to add our information and our logos. So I'm giving it a gradient gray, but this time around it's a radial gradient. But feel free to use any other color scheme you want. And let's hit Shift page down to send it to the back of our page. I want to increase the darkness of my gray so that our panels are much more visible. And let's take away the outline of our background. Awesome. So now we just need to import our logos, our social media logos. Yes, we forgot to give our rectangles some shadows, so we can always do that. Great. So now we need to position our logos, but before then, we need to add the information from our company or our client. So in this video, I'm just writing connect with us using the Biba Snowy font. I'll set the alignment to a center and center it with my circle. With the shape tool, you can adjust the line spacing between your text. To always fit your required or intended results. Now we just need to add a few more elements to make it more fun. So I'm adding a circle of 2 millimeter in dimension and going to our transform Docker, make 2 more copies to the right so that I can give it the colors we used for our 3 panels. Now shift, select all 3 and group. Set outline to none and position it as you see on the screen. Now let's position our social media handle logos in the smaller circles as you see on the screen. And from here we can add the social media handles of our company or whatever information your client wish you put there. Amazing! You have done so well and I'm really proud of you coming this far. I can't wait to see what you do with this knowledge. Feel free and be creative about it. And I hope this helps you to secure more gigs from more clients. The font style to use, the size, the colors is all up to you. You can always modify to suit your client's taste. So I'll set mine to white, make a copy using Shift, select the right rectangle and press C to center align it. Make another copy and position it on the yellow rectangle and also use the same process to align it. Great! Our 3-panel infographics design is ready. Go over in case we left out any shapes without shadows, and with the same process, let's copy and apply the shadow effects to any object we left out. If you got value from this video, then subscribe for more inspiring content. Your likes and your comments are deeply appreciated. Start creating yours now.